Okay, so it has been a little while since I've made a video. I'm officially that cliche of a YouTuber who's like, sorry guys, I haven't made a video in a long time. But in honor of Valentine's Day this week, I thought, of course, I will be cliche again and do a love and sex video. So because I know a lot of you guys don't really want everyone to know you're asking these questions publicly, I've decided to keep all of the questions anonymous. Most of them have come through my email, and I might actually have to end up doing a part 2 of this because so many of you guys wrote in, and I can only make a video so long. Audience retention rates, analytics and stuff, you know what I mean. So anyways, let's just jump right into it. The first question is, in your opinion, is love really worth it? Is it worth the hassle and the upkeep? Well, isn't that the question of, a word was supposed to come to me there. Anyways, a lot of people basically have to decide this many different times throughout their life. Love is a hassle, but I think personally I would have to say it's worth it, whether it's love in family relationships, friendships, or romantic relationships. Love and connection in relationships is what makes life worth living. Have you struggled with a fear of any kind of intimacy, emotional or sexual? Personally, I do a lot. Do you have any tips on how to deal with those fears and still try to date people and grow your relationships? Yes and yes. So growing up, well, first of all, let me just say emotionally, I have always dealt with a fear of intimacy, but I've been working on it. And that fear of intimacy shows up in a way of being vulnerable. So nobody likes to be vulnerable. No one's like, hey, I just love to be vulnerable. I love to just wear my heart on my sleeve and hope that anyone that walks by me can just, I don't know, love me or hate me and I'm just gonna feel it all. Nobody really likes that feeling. You feel naked, you feel exposed, and it can be scary. And I think that, you know, for me, going to therapy was something that really helped me not shut myself off from people and really be able to just be okay with myself and what others thought of me, which that is a constant battle, but one that I feel like I at least have some experience with forcing myself to just push through. Now, sexually, yeah, I was actually afraid of having sex for a really long time, and I was a virgin till I was 24, so I definitely didn't have sex for a really long time. It started off because of my religion. I was Christian and I didn't want to have sex before I was married, and it was kind of like this rule that was put on me, and I kind of just stuck with it for a while. And then when I didn't really feel religious anymore, I still held on to that because I was nervous because I hadn't had sex yet and everyone else I knew had had sex, and I was so nervous and I was just like, oh my god, I can't do this, I'm never gonna be able to do this. And then I tried to have sex with someone and it didn't work because it hurt really, really bad. I think it hurt for many reasons. It was because a lot of it was in my head and I thought it was gonna hurt, and so I was super anxious and my body was just like, nope, 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 nothing's getting in here. And because of a few experiences like that, it caused me to have a fear of wanting to have sex for the first time. And finally, you know, it happened, I did it. But I remember crying to my therapist being like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to have sex. It's never gonna work. My body is just not meant for it. And she was just sitting there smiling, like, well, not smiling in a bad way, but kind of chuckling at me. I could tell, being like, Kat, relax, like you're gonna be able to have sex one day. I know that it can seem really scary to tackle these things you've never done in your life before, whether it's loving someone and being vulnerable or having sex with someone for the first time. And that's just part of life. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, this is exactly how you do this, because it's different for everybody. And I think the most important thing, which leads me to the next question, is being comfortable. Me and my boyfriend have been together for a bit now and he thinks it's time to have sex. I agree with him, but I'm a virgin and at this age, quite astonishing. What should I do and how can I make the first time memorable and fantastic? And I'm just gonna wrap in one more question with that. I don't know when you lost your virginity, but I'm 17 and a couple of guys I've dated have wanted to have sex in the past, and my boyfriend is about to bring it up and I'm super unsure about it, plus not comfortable with my body and all that, and I just really don't know what to do. So for these two questions here, when it comes to having sex for the first time, don't do it because somebody else wants to. I think a lot of people lose their virginity that way because the guy or girl they're dating wants to have sex, and I think it's so important to be self-aware here and know, am I ready for this? Do I want to do this? The second question I read from the reader doesn't seem like they're ready, or they're not comfortable with their body, they're not comfortable with who they am. And I think that it's so important for you to have sex when you want to have sex. So if somebody's bringing it up that's dating you and doesn't want to date you and you're not ready, then that person is not the person you should be dating right now, because that person cares more about their own needs than they care about you. They care more about sex than they care about you, and that is unfortunately common in high schoolers, sometimes college, and so on. To the girl that is trying to decide how to make sex fantastic and memorable for the first time, I think there's ways you can make it memorable, and just that it's with someone special, that you want to do this. Fantastic sex on the first try, good luck. I don't really know anyone who's had fantastic sex the first time they had sex. And honestly, there were lots of questions, and the title of this video is sex painful for the first time, and is sex painful in general? I got a lot of questions about that. So your first time, it's not gonna be like orgasm city, if you know what I mean. Like, you're probably not gonna have an orgasm. You're most likely just gonna, well, the guy probably will. Yeah, that's gonna happen for him. But for the girl, you're just gonna have to kind of endure it and figure it out as you go along. It didn't hurt for me when I actually was able to have sex, but there were those couple years leading up to it where it was like I would try and then I would like tighten up and then I wouldn't be able to have sex. And I know that's kind of graphic, but that's what happens if you get anxious when you're trying to have sex. So if you're able to relax and just kind of like be in the moment and be present, it's a lot easier to have sex for the first time. And some people say it hurts. Some people don't say it hurts. There's ways to prepare your body. You can, explore yourself first. That, if you're comfortable with your own body, it's gonna be a lot better having sex for the first time than if you're not familiar with your own body at all, because how are you supposed to help someone else get to know your body if you don't even know your body? So that's step one. And overall, I would say that there's a reason people like sex. So yeah, sometimes it kind of hurts a little bit, but for the most part, it's awesome and a great experience, and you shouldn't be afraid of it. I know I spent way too many years being afraid of it, and I wish that I hadn't. All right, and because I've been filming already for a little while, this is gonna be my last question. If you guys want me to do a part 2 of this video, please let me know in the comments. Also, just let me know what you think of this video in general, because I haven't filmed in a while and I feel rusty. And give this video a thumbs up if you like it. It really helps the video get viewed in this crazy algorithm of YouTube, and yeah, that would be great. So the last question here is, have you ever felt nervous about divulging your sexual fantasies, fetishes to your significant other, or just kept them from them altogether because of embarrassment that they might judge you for your interests? This one is for people who are obviously already having sex and in relationships, or just having sex in general with people, and this can be something that people are very ashamed of. And I get it. There's something about sex that just feels kind of dirty, and if you have a fetish or you have something you're into, it can be embarrassing to bring up, because there's a lot of kink shaming and there's been a lot of weird connotations towards fetishes, and especially if you're a girl, it's even weirder because it's more normal, eye rolling there if you didn't notice, for a guy to have fetishes and sexual fantasies and talk about it than it is for a girl too. So I get that it's weird, but I think if you're with someone and you're having sex with them, I mean, you've had your naked bodies together. Like, it doesn't really get weirder than sex. So I think that if you're having sex with the same person, or you're in a relationship with someone, make sure you trust them. Make sure that you're not gonna just blurt out something that you feel or you're fantasizing about, and then they're gonna make fun of you or reject you. That's that's a legitimate fear. So I think it's just really important to make sure you have an established trust relationship with this person. Hopefully you kind of do a little bit anyway if you're having sex, and just kind of try bringing up something really subtle and go from there. Don't just like the big like crazy fetish you have first. Start with something small and see how they react to it, even if it's just like a little joke. Or you can start by asking them if they have any, to get them talking, which they might be shy and have stuff they want to tell you, but they don't want to bring it up because they're nervous for the same reasons you are. So that's kind of my thoughts about that. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day, whether you're single or not. I'm personally single, so please be my Valentine as usual. I feel like I say this every year on YouTube for the last 10 years. God, I need a boyfriend. All right, well, I'll see you guys here soon with an all new video.